Hey YouTubers, how's it going? Mike Martin's here, Mike Martin's channel. I'm in my future studio slash office. Got my washroom there for me to put my makeup on when I'm ready to go on. I'm just joking. Pretty happy with the new house, by the way. Follow me on Living the Dream section of my channel. But I got a really good article I want to read for you guys coming out of California. Knows how to party. And you know, with the vacant houses out in California and the whole mass exodus of Californians leaving California, I got a really good one. This is a really good article. So I found this the other day, stumbled upon it, and I want to read it to you guys. Who's accountable for the California housing crisis? Let us point the finger. Let us judge. Let he who is without sin cast the first stone. So let's go. From Bay Area tech workers living in tiny offices to families squeezing into illegally converted garages. The lack of affordable housing has prompted an unknown number of people into potentially unsafe living conditions. Senior investigative reporter Vicki Nugent asks the state housing czar Ben Metcalf, how the state is holding cities accountable for building their fair share of housing in a report first aired February 13, 2017. Published Tuesday, February 14, 2017. California's affordable housing crisis has reached an epidemic level, with rents at all-time high and home ownership rates at their lowest since the 1940s. That's before World War II. Well, that was during World War II, sorry. Still, despite the housing crunch, California has some of the country's toughest laws required for affordable housing. But as the NBC Bay Area Investigative Unit uncovered, those rules are rarely enforced, leaving millions of people looking for alternative ways to live. Serial entrepreneur Kat Volas is among the Bay Area workers fleeing the housing burden. Volas came to gave an investigative unit a tour of a 10-by-10 office space that he calls home. So it's actually smaller than this room, because this is like 18 by 16, this room. So it's smaller than this room. It was like the nicest space for the cheapest, so I got it, Vols told NBC Bay Area. For the past year and a half, Vols has lived in the tiny office in the heart of Silicon Valley, paying $300 per month for rent. Vols says she knows it isn't legal, but it's all she could afford. I don't use a blanket or pillow or anything because it's like contraband. Vols is pointing at the thinly carpeted office floor where she sleeps. It's safe and it's mine. Godev native, Volas graduated at the top of her class from Regis University in Denver in 2012. She returned to the Bay Area and used her education to form a startup business making perfume, as well as doing web design, marketing, and digital media. However, Vol says she quickly found herself in Catch-22, too qualified to be hired for hourly wage jobs, but not making enough money to afford a steady housing. Since then, she's lived in offices, backyard sheds, and her Toyota Corolla. This is horrible, people. Lack of affordable housing. Vols is one of millions who struggle to pay for housing in California. State data shows more than 1.5 million households pay more than 50% of their income towards rent. San Jose's Deputy Director, Code Enforcement, Diane Buchanan, believes that the lack of affordable housing is contributing to the spike in dangerous illegal occupancies. From 2012 to 2016, we have seen almost a doubling of complaints that we received. Buchanan told NBC Area the city relies on complaints to direct its investigators, of course. However, Buchanan said it's difficult for her office to gauge how many people live in hiding. And there's some photos here below. This is pretty bad. Last year, city inspectors responded to 45 complaints about people living in unpermitted spaces, including sheds and shacks. No sanitation, no plumbing. So they're digging holes in backyards, Buchanan said. Other dangerous and substandard conditions, including illegally covered garages without insulation near open flames, and water heaters that can release deadly carbon monoxide gas into poorly ventilated spaces. Buchanan maintains that the safety is the number one priority of her office. This is a ticking time bomb. None of these inspectors like to see people living in these conditions. And what we have to move them out. This is pretty tough. I mean, if you're working for this agency and you got to go around and you got to start moving people out of their places, I'd be pretty choked too. Like if that was my job, I'd be very emotional. I don't think I could handle that job. Let me switch hands here. My arm's getting tired here. Affordable housing and unenforced mandate. California housing law requires that all cities adequately plan to meet their housing needs for residents across all income levels. However, there is a little recourse when cities don't. So it's kind of like, hiring illegal workers, basically. There's very little recourse for the employer, and it's very, you know what I'm saying, right? Housing element law. There's no consequence today. We don't have any sanctions at state level. There are no consequences. If you say you've planned on paper, then you get a free pass. We don't hold your feet to the fire, State Housing Director Ben Metcalf told NBC Bay Area. Metcalf runs the Department of Housing and Community Development. The agency is in charge of making sure cities provide affordable housing by assigning each region a specific number of housing units that they must build over a course of 8 years, and the process is called Regional Housing Need Allocation. Figures from the State Housing Assessment show California has built on average 80,000 homes each year over the past decade. That's not a lot when there's 20 million people in the state. 18 that needed to keep housing affordable. Metcalf believes that this is one of the biggest contributing factors of lack of affordable housing. This is the end of the day. A solvable problem, Metcalf said. The fact is, housing is so expensive today is a consequence of decisions that have been made at the local and state level, and those decisions that have been made can get revisited and they can be changed. Regional Housing Need Allocation 2007 to 2014. While we hold them accountable to plan for the growth, we don't hold them accountable to see if growth actually happens, Metcalf said. However, his agency is working to change that through incentives that could potentially encourage cities to approve affordable housing projects, such as linking funding for city parks and the amount of housing built in the city. And it goes on to saying, according to the most recent homeless survey, at any given night, some 118,000 people experience homelessness in California. But things are improving for CAT. Boy, I hope God hears them, man. I hope God really hears what they're saying. I hope things are really improving. But but who says she has now saved enough to sign a lease for an apartment? Well, my prayers are with you, Kat. I really hope, God hears you, and I hope things really, really improve for you. I mean, I really do. Because the amount of people that are struggling, it's beyond, living the California dream, going down to LA. When I was a kid back in the 80s, everyone wanted to be an actor. I wanted to be an actor. Everybody wanted to be on the big screen and be a star and, and get out there and meet people and blah, 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 and sign contracts. Everybody wants that, everyone makes their way to... Now the California dream is, gone, like listening to 118,000 people are homeless? That's huge. That's the size of the town I live in here. This town I live in, it's a cowboy town. Lots of farming and stuff in the mountains here. And mind you, it's very mild here. The weather's actually been really good. So Because a lot of people fear, oh, the cold, the cold. Look up some cities in the west coast in Canada. You'll see how mild some of this. This city has experienced the biggest snowfall in the last since 1896. So I'm experiencing the first year here with massive snowfall, but it's going to be in the plus tens all this week, which is 70s for you guys or 60s in the states, 60s for you guys, 55s for you guys in the states. But it's going to be great. I'm really excited to have a good introduction to spring. But this whole California situation has really got me thinking. I mean, first world problems are becoming big problems now. I mean, people are saying, "Oh, I bought this earring. It doesn't fit." That's a first world problem. A third world problem is, "Oh, I haven't eaten in 3 days. What am I gonna do?" Now, first world problems are starting to merge into second world and third world problems, and this is not supposed to be happening. You know what I'm saying? This is supposed to be, but like a lot of people say and conspiracy theorists say, it's by design. Government is basically setting up its people for failure. I could see that angle, but then I could see government making millions and billions off collecting taxes from people that have good jobs, right? So I don't know if there's a balance there. Let me know what you guys think. Is it yes, yay, or nay, or what you guys feel about that? But I really wanted to touch base with you guys and kind of neighbors waving at me from walking outside. I don't know how he sees me in here. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. Comment below. Watch some of my older housing videos, housing crisis videos. I got some pretty good ones out there. Some pretty good topics, things that are going on. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. It means a lot to me when you comment below, and I try to reply to everybody's comment if I can. And keeping the comments relevant to the topic, it's important, right? To keep a good conversation going. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a good one.